Hey guys, Happy New Year! It's 2020, can you believe it? The start of a new decade, and I hope that this next year and this next decade are going to be even better. And I want to help you to make that happen for you. And so, if like me, this is your first week back, then this is perfect timing, the first full week in January, to start reviewing and changing a few different things about yourself and your trading. So these are things that I do every year. Well, some of them I do every year now, and some of them are things that I used to do more when I was developing as a trader and relatively inexperienced. And I would suggest that some of you do that to help you push along with your trading as well. So you can see all of the things that we'll be going through in this video, and you can see it's broken up into two broad categories. On one side, we have the things which are going to be to do with your development, so you can keep improving as a trader, getting better and better throughout this year, making sure you don't stay stagnant the whole time. And on the other side is the topics about your trading itself, to make sure that you start this year in the right way so you can have the best possible year in 2020. And feel free to skip around the video to any of these topics that are more relevant to you than others. Although having said that, I do think that you'll all benefit from watching pretty much all of these. I know that some of you see them as soft, fluffy type things that you maybe don't see as important as other areas of your trading. But trust me, we're going to be going through some really complex things in future videos. But it's the things in this video that if you get right, you're really going to succeed with your trading. Not necessarily complex areas of trading itself, but making sure you approach it in the right way. So stick around and let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to start off with the development side, but even though we're starting with that, I just want to point something out with my trading at the start of the year, and this is to this day, it's what I'm doing now, is that I don't come back after the festive break and after New Year and jump straight back into the markets. I always ease myself in. This is partly to make sure that I'm at the top of my game when I'm getting back into things after having a bit of a break and a refresher. And it's also to make sure that the markets are also back to normal, because around the festive period, things can be a little bit different. Things are maybe a little less active, volatility can be a bit different. And also, particularly this year, there are a lot of things going on around the world that we need to be aware of. So I take the first couple of weeks as easing myself in, and that's reflected both in the development side and in the trading side. Okay, so with the development side, what you need to do, first of all, at the start of the year, is to understand more about your routines. So over the course of the year, or over the course of our lives, we develop certain routines and certain habits that sometimes we're not even aware of. Now, I'm sure you've heard plenty of times before that success is not made up of these big major moments, but it's made up of the smaller things that you do consistently every single day. And so our habits are really important. Now, what's more with trading is that obviously if you want to become a consistently profitable trader, you have to become consistent. And one thing that's going to make you consistent are the habits that you have. So if you have habits or routines that are not good for you becoming a good profitable trader, if they're holding you back or restricting your potential, then we need to be aware of those and start changing them. So the first thing I do at the start of the year, those first 2 weeks, is I'm going to audit myself. Okay, so you can start auditing yourself as well. Start looking at what your daily processes are, your daily routines, the habits that you've formed, how much time you're spending on things, where your time's spent wisely, where it's wasted on things. Audit your mindset, audit the things you eat, the sleep you get, whatever it might be. Whatever's important to you, which should be all of those things, but whatever you're going to prioritize, make sure you track it. So there are plenty of ways to do it. You can just keep a journal and write things down, or there's something called a habit scorecard, which I'm not going to go into. There are other variations of that as well. I'd recommend reading a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. There are other books about habits, but I think that one's a good one because you can blast through the audiobook in like next to no time. Put it on 2x speed, just pay attention to the main concepts, and you'll really understand how you can start tracking the habits that you've got, the routines that you've got, so that you know what your baseline is. That's really important because once you have your baseline, you can start to figure out what you can do to change some of these things. Because if you can nail it just for these first few months, the first quarter of this year, or even just January, then you'll set the ball rolling for the rest of the year. And then you can make something a really good habit that's going to lead you to being that bit more successful. And as we know with our trading, once you get to that stage where you're profitable, the difference between being like break even and extremely profitable are fine margins. And those fine margins can come from the slight changes that you make, the marginal gains that you find, which you're going to find by figuring out which habits are good for you and which are bad for you. Okay, so that's the first thing. Tracking your routines, auditing yourself, and changing habits and routines to improve the way that you're performing and the way you're going to approach this year. All right, the next one is a really straightforward one, and this one makes me think of when I was a kid back at school. So you know when you start off a new year, I'm sure you've all gone through this, even if you deny it, I bet you did, where you get a brand new like textbook at school or a brand new workbook, whatever they're called, and you open that first page and you've got your new pens that you got for Christmas and you write really nicely. And you do all your bullet points in different colors and you have a little contents page and you really focus on keeping things organized and structured and really nice because you're proud of this new book. So with that in mind, I actually think it's a good idea to start the year off with a new journal. Now, I know this sounds fuzzy and silly and like it's not important, but what you find is that when you get to the end of the year, when you want to come to optimizing your trading, which is something we'll also come on to in a second, then you can only do that if you've got good solid data and you've kept consistent with what you're doing in tracking your journal, tracking your trades, tracking your daily routines and so on. Then you can see where you can improve for the next year. Now, the only way you're going to do this is if you make the process somewhat enjoyable and somewhat organized. So by starting off a brand new journal, it's going to help you to have a fresh perspective when you come to it. You can also look at what you used in your journal from last year, the data you were tracking, how useful that was when you came to the optimization stage, and see what you need to track more or less of in the coming year. So start a fresh one, start a new template in Evernote if you're using that. If you're writing it down on paper, then figure out how you're going to be organizing that and start being consistent. Take that extra few minutes every day on top of what you would have been doing with your journal to make sure that you're doing an even better job than what you were in 2019. All right, the next one is about having a development plan. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about this, but a lot of this is going to be to do with how you lay out your deliberate practice sessions and making sure that you're continuously improving your trading. So it's not just about your trading sessions themselves, but how you take the feedback you're getting from your trading sessions, things that you need to work on, which everyone has. It doesn't matter how good you are. You could be world class at something and still need to train and practice. So it's about figuring out what the process is going to be for taking those elements that you need to work on, turning them into deliberate practice sessions and developing in those areas. So I'd suggest putting together a development plan. Now, those of you that are signed up for our intro course, you would have been invited to a webinar in the past, and that was all about developing a development plan. And it's something that we'll also offer again at some point, maybe in a month or two, for those of you that haven't had a chance to look at that yet. We're going to refresh the content and bring it to you again. So put together this development plan. I'd recommend for a brand new trader, like someone who's just getting started in phase one, probably go for like a 1 month development plan. You need enough time that you can stick to something consistently to see how you've done, but maybe if you're brand new, you're moving through so many levels that a month might be long enough. Whereas when you get into phase two and beyond, maybe you want to have a 90-day plan. So looking at the whole of the first quarter and seeing what you want to achieve during that time. Now, inevitably, when you talk about development plans, then you're going to talk about goals. And I know a lot of you are going to have New Year's resolutions, things that I'm sure you're going to smash in 2020 and have a really good year with it. But just make sure when it comes to trading that your goals are about things that you can control, okay? Have a look at what makes a successful trader. Or if you've been profitable with your trading, look at what factors contributed to you being successful with your trading. And then target yourself based on those things. What you shouldn't do is target yourself based on return, profit in terms of like monetary value or anything like that, because to a certain extent you can't control that. What you can control is being consistent in your actions, your decision making, having your risk under control, because that is something that you can control, and the returns, if you master all of those sort of metrics and things that you can measure yourself on and control, your returns will be as good as they possibly can be in that situation. But if you target yourself based on a return, either you're going to hit it or you're not. and be happy or sad about that, but it doesn't necessarily mean your trading was good or bad, because it's about what you do that leads to the returns that matters most. You could gamble and hit your return, and for some people that's what will happen if they set some sort of profit target, or you might be an excellent trader and not hit it and think that you're doing something wrong. Instead, just target the things that are going to be most beneficial to your long-term success and sustainably trading at a successful level. And also, with that in mind, you don't want to be setting daily PIP targets or like weekly return targets or anything like that. There's a video where I spoke about this before, and there was an interesting analogy about taxi drivers in New York. I'll link it below. I always like to share that one at the start of the year or at the end of the year, and I'd recommend checking that one out because it will help you to understand why it's important not to have those sort of targets. So that's the targets and goals, and that obviously makes up one part of your development plan because it's about what are the things that you're targeting, maybe being consistent with one specific area of risk, one risk metric, and how you're going to work towards achieving that. But then you also need to think about your strengths and development areas with your own trading. Now, it doesn't matter, like I said before, whether you're consistently profitable, whether you're experienced as hell in the markets and you know what you're doing day in, day out. Everyone has areas that they can develop further. And do you know what happens to people who think they're above it and they're so experienced and they don't work on their development year in, year out? Is that one day things start going south for them and they can't figure out why it's happened. And it's not any one single thing. It's an accumulation of many little things. It's death by a million paper cuts or whatever the saying is. And so to avoid that happening, just pick a few areas every year. Or if you're a beginner, pick sort of broader areas to really focus on and have a step-by-step plan over that period of time of what you're going to be doing every week, what sort of milestones and objectives you need to achieve to get on track to making sure that that development area is brought up to speed. And make sure you don't neglect your strengths either, but obviously the focus is on the development areas and how you're going to make them as good as your strengths are. Make sure you have actually taken a break. So it doesn't have to be the end of year that you take a break, but I think that's a good time to do so because of how the markets are around the festive period. And you haven't run out of time yet because the markets won't be 100% back to normal yet. So if you haven't taken a break, if you've gone full steam from 2019 into 2020 because you're so passionate and eager to carry on trading, and I can completely relate with that, make sure you do take a break because it's going to refresh your mind, it's going to help you to reflect on what you're doing and come back a million times better. Because you maybe don't notice because you're so passionate and eager and enthusiastic, but sometimes you can get a bit jaded. Sometimes you'll start making mistakes just because you need to get that time away from the charts. You know, even after all of these years, it's still the case that at the end of the year, I take those couple of weeks off and it's almost like absence makes the heart grow fonder, and the time away from the markets makes me really eager to get back to the charts. And on that first day back, my passion, enthusiasm, drive, motivation is higher than ever, and I can see things clearer. I feel refreshed, I feel like my performance is top notch, and I think that's going to be the same for a lot of you. You know, you don't know when your focus starts to dwindle, when you start feeling a bit jaded. Maybe you've had a long, tiring year and you haven't quite had the time to reflect and realize that you're not as fresh and on the ball as you were in January of that year. And so it's a good idea to take a couple of weeks. It's going to help you to reflect on your own performance so you can improve your deliberate practice and so on. And more importantly, you can spend that time reviewing your trades, optimizing and making sure you really know what areas of your trading have been good or bad. And I'll leave a link in the description box to a video that we had halfway through 2019, which was about optimizing your trading and calibrating to make sure that you're on track for your best possible performance. So the first thing I do, I've told you before, is that I don't jump straight in and pick up where I left off. Because I know that although I feel fresher than ever, it might be that my mind's not as into it as I was at the end of the last year. It might also be that the markets aren't quite back into steady state yet. Maybe things are slightly different, the dynamics have changed. Maybe things have gone on that I haven't sort of kept up with because I haven't kept my finger on the pulse as much. So I want to ease my way in. So in terms of technical analysis, for at least the first week, I'm only going to use the major levels. So what I'll do is come back to the charts completely fresh, almost start from a blank slate. I'll review my levels from the previous year, and I'll have notes already about which levels were important for whatever reason, why certain levels were mapped in the way that they were and why they were positioned that way, so that I know which ones that I want to sort of put on the new charts. But really I want to have a bit of a blank canvas and see if there's anything I've missed, how I would see things now, because there are certain times of your trading with your technical analysis where you might have levels positioned in a certain way and it shapes the way that you view that market. And it might be that if you removed everything from the chart and started again, you'd see things a bit differently. And so I want to give myself that opportunity to see things differently and see if I pick up on anything that's important that I missed before. And you can compare between what you had before and what you have now to make sure you're not missing anything and you're not too far off, but I prefer to start fresh. Now, as I said, I only have the major levels. I'm not putting in the minor levels or the sort of more active trading based levels because these are ones that, first of all, I don't want to be trading on in that first week. I want to only be using the most dependable situations to trade in because I know that I need to have my time to ease back in the markets and make sure I'm at my peak performance, but also because I want to see how the market's performing. So the minor levels are things that I'm going to put into the charts and put into my trading as we move along throughout the week. The first week is mainly about observing the market and only trading if there are some really major setups that I just can't miss. But if you're not using the Duomo methods, then think about your own trading and what are the sort of more active things that you do that you pick up on from one day to the next that maybe you need to spend some time observing and making sure are correct before you start trading properly. Okay, so you can look at a macro scale for things and be ready to use that, but the sort of more detailed, granular stuff is stuff that you should spend time observing. All right, so the next one is really, really important, and that is to create some sort of fundamental overview. So it doesn't matter if you trade with fundamentals or technical analysis. It doesn't matter if you're an expert, PhD in economics, or you know nothing really at all. You need to get up to speed with what's happening in the markets. There may be major things that are going on in the world that may be disrupting or about to disrupt some of the markets that you're going to be focusing on that you might not have picked up on over the last couple of weeks because you were too busy drinking too much, eating too much, and putting on those festive GBPs. So you need to make sure you have some sort of fundamental overview to understand what's going on in the world that may affect the markets that you're focusing on. Like for example, this year, a big one that we've started the year with is the current situation with the US and Iran. Now that's inevitably going to disrupt quite a few markets. It might not disrupt the markets that you're trading, but it's good to be aware of those sorts of things or other things that are affecting your industry. So for me, at the start of this year, I've been catching up on all of the news. I kept up with sort of the headlines over the festive period, but at the start of this year I'm getting deep. So I'm doing research projects on some things that matter to me. I'm making sure that I'm keeping up with all of the major events and starting to be able to put things in their correct places and understand what's important, what's not. But it's just about putting in the time and the effort to do it properly. And I think that's something that a lot of people lack at times, is the time and effort to actually go deep on things, but it really pays off for your trading. So start the year as you mean to go on. And so I think that's pretty much it. You know, I'm sure there are things here and there that I've missed, but broadly, what this is all about is don't just start this year carrying on from last year and doing exactly the same thing, because you never know what you could be doing better, you never know what you're not doing quite right, and you never know what's changed in the markets. So use this as a starting point for this year. Make sure you're focused on doing things purposefully, so you're not just doing things for the sake of it, but you actually understand why you're doing certain things, including things in your routine, including parts of your analysis, and just use this as that reset point where you're going to ease yourself back in as the trader and person in the markets that you want to be for the rest of this year. Alright guys, that's all for now. If you want me to be helping you on your journey throughout this year, make sure you're subscribed to this channel for the best trading content on YouTube. We're just hitting 100,000 subscribers. Thank you so much to everyone who's been here with us up until now. There's plenty more to come, and I'm looking forward to a fantastic 2020 and a really good decade. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. Leave any comments below, especially letting me know what your goals are, what's going to be in your development plan for this year, and how last year went for you. You know, just have a chit chat in the comment section. I'd love hearing about how you guys are getting on. And thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year once again. I'll see you in the next one.